What's up guys, and welcome back to a new video on my YouTube channel. And in today's video, let's get straight into the video, not the last one but the one before, what I said there. USDT dominance, USDC dominance, okay, is hitting support after support on this line 1, 2, 3, 4 times already, guys. And as you might know, the more times we hit support or we see USDT dominance hitting support, the more likely it is to actually break out lower. Okay, and we can see exactly this triangle forming. Okay, and I mean, guys, if this thing breaks lower to the 6.2% level, the breakout, is very likely to be confirmed. Okay, guys, I just said that the more times we hit support, right, the more often times we hit this trend line, the more likely we are to break out lower. Okay, and let's see what happened, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, and actually the fifth time this chart managed to break out lower. Okay, boom, the perfect retest, actually twice. Okay, retest one. Okay, that's where you want to long, right? Because at this resistance level now, that's where you want to go long on the crypto, because this might drop more, right? And you can just set your stop loss above the resistance. Easy money. Then it dropped, right? And we hit resistance one more time, which means that actually we swiped the lows in the crypto, right? We swiped, dang, that's messy. But we swiped the lows one more time. I believe it was, let me check. Let me check the date real quick. Okay, this was the 9th at 2 and the 9th at 7, okay, at 5 p.m. Let's check if that's correct. The 9th at 2, so here, okay, and yeah, you see that perfect double bottom, right? Some altcoins might have swiped the lows, got lower, and that's why I'm saying that you can clearly see it. The USDT USDC dominance is very important, a very important level to look at, okay? Because right now we see, as I said, broke out, boom, and it's going lower, right? So we broke out this trend line. So from mid of August, when we hit the bottom, went up, right? Moving up, trend upwards. And now we're heading lower. And let's look at it from the brighter point of view, okay? We can clearly see it here. When was that? That's a big support line here, right? That was in February 21, okay? That was in December 24, okay? And now what we see is, this level, the 5.35% level, is a very good level to get rejected again, okay? Because this is a strong support. I mean, if we break through this level, guys, that's very bullish. That's very, very bullish. But, because I think that will be kind of altcoin season type if we break through this level of support, right? Because it will go further, right? It has multiple supports actually. You can see that, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 supports, right? On a high time frame, so on years of time, right? This is the first time actually was here as well. You can see it on April 19th, right? In 2019, okay? Then in June 19 again, in February 20 again, February 21 again, and in December 24 again. So guys, I've been waiting for this level. If we hit this level, I will definitely take some profits. Okay, around this area, around 5.5%, I'll start to take some profits, because we saw also, this trend line or this support line, right, in March 24 and December 24. So it's also possible that we break through, right, and I'll swipe out, or the people think, okay, we broke out of this major resistance, yeah, and then it's just a quick dump lower, but then we pump again above this level. Could happen also, but anyways, at this level I'll take definitely some profits. It's also based on the social media metric score, right? It depends on how many people, how many, how much retail is back, okay? because we don't just want to sell our crypto, right? Look at this chart, guys. We don't just want to sell because we want to sell, but this is one good indicator to look at. And also the next good indicator is to look at, guys, is this chart. Always, you see this here, for example, right? I explained it many times. April 24, we just saw it. We hit a bottom in our USDT USDC dominance, and this chart hit roughly 40%, right? The indicate dashboard for historical social metric risk, which means the new retail that comes into space was at 40%. Okay, the retail attention, the the activity on social media. On December or end of November, beginning of December, where we hit the other top, we also saw it above 40%. Okay, so now if we see this chart at 30 to 40% plus, that's a good time to take some profits. In combination with the USDT USDC dominance hitting this trend line, that's a great setup to take some profits. And in case it drops, you make more money, right? Because you will not sell everything. I will not sell everything. I will sell, a good amount, but I'm definitely not everything. Because long term, we're still, I really hope in long term, maybe in a couple of next month, right? Until the end of the year, beginning of next year, maybe, we might break out lower, right? We know what I expected to do, the chart actually. Okay, USDC, USDT dominance. Within the next month, okay, I expected to do, let me get that one here, okay, to do something like that now, right? It dumps, okay, boom, boom, retest, maybe, nah, that's too long, let me zoom in a little bit, okay, does something like that, dumps, pump, boom, 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 maybe retest here, something like, yeah, that will definitely not look like that exactly, but that's approximately what I would be looking for, and that would be awesome to see, right? Because when we break out this support level, guys, that's a very, very bullish sign. That means that most of the money, right, a lot of money is flowing into crypto. Because you can see, for example, in June 22, guys, there was 16%. That's the highest since ever, okay? And now we're at 6%, which is all right. But, we could also hit, come lower, right? Maybe the 3% would be 2.5 would be actually amazing, but I think something like the 3.7%. Yeah, because we see here resistance, here we see resistance, here we see support. Okay, so this level, let me actually give me a notification at 4.10. Okay, ultimate support, right? The 4.10%, that's a level where, yeah, I'll be looking out, in combination with, for example, when we see the retail being at, the retail chart being at 70 plus percent, 60 to 70 plus percent, then there's a good time to take really big profits. Okay, that's the time where you want to get out. You don't want to stay in too long because there's no many people to buy in more. There's not a lot of money that could rotate or that could flow more into crypto. Of course, the money out of the coins could rotate, for example, from Bitcoin into Ethereum. But the nice thing is that no retail cares about Bitcoin, right? Only the very few people care about Bitcoin in sense of retail. Retail means, the people like you, like me, the private investors, right? The people who want to make money. Because most people hear about crypto, they hear Bitcoin is at 150, okay, but Bitcoin is already too high. Why should I buy Bitcoin when I can buy altcoins? Let's look at Ethereum. Okay, Ethereum is nice, but are also already at $4,444. Well, that's an angel number, actually. But wait, let's look at, because Ethereum is too high, let's look at Solana now. Let's look at smaller caps like Cardano, whatever, and all of a sudden, they see meme coins and they think, hey, look, there's, for example, Brett, right, or Pepe on Ethereum, okay, massively undervalued. It was high already, and maybe by the time we're all already at all-time highs. But the people will say, look, we might double, triple, quadruple now for Pepe. I could just put in $1,000, right, that I saved. I saved for 3 months these $1,000, and now I put them in, and I can just do a 5x, so I have 5K, which means I have not 3 months of saving, I have 15 months of saving then. You know, you get what I mean? That's what the people think. They want to make money, and they want to make money fast, and a lot of money fast, and that's why the most of the people will burn themselves. Okay, and we don't play this game. Yeah, we play a game of patience. You see, this was always a perfect level. Looking at the only USDT dominance. Okay, perfect level to take some profit. So we might see this level again. Okay, I'll be putting another. Let me get this here. Okay. Triple bottom support. Like that. Okay, perfect. You see, at this level, we want to take some profits because we always saw, boom, it hit this support level, broke out higher. Hit this support level, broke out higher. Hit this support level, and it might break out higher again, guys, okay? And it actually did already. When did it? On 11th of August. Oh, nice. Oh, nice. Okay. So it might, come a little lower. Might happen. And then, if it breaks out, that's great. So we make more money on the downside, on the upside, okay? USDT dominance falling, crypto pumping, right? But the only thing is, you can see it clearly, guys. That's the weekly time frame. That's the weekly time frame, okay? And we see a low here, first low. You can see it on the RSI, I believe, right? You can see that. The first low here, okay? Boom, the second low, it's approximately the same level, okay? But on the RSI, it shows strength. All right, now we are hitting the third low, and it's even getting more stronger, which means that this one is about to break out higher, which means that cryptos are about to fall, guys, are about to break out lower. And guys, I've been telling you since weeks now, okay, that I see a massive dump within the next, guys, within between September, October. I put my money where my mouth is, okay? I'm betting now on the short term for some pump, right? For us to dump maybe here to this level. Short term, which means the next 1-2 weeks maybe, okay? Maybe maximum end of September, but I don't even think that necessarily, takes that much time. And after that, you guys, you can see that massive, massive, massive divergence, okay? This huge divergence on the USDT dominance, guys. That means the chart is getting stronger for USDT dominance. It goes down, the chart is getting stronger, okay? Which means that soon there will be a massive pump. And when this thing pumps, you don't want to hold too much of your bags anymore. You want to sell them when it hits support, okay? So you have a little bit of profits that you can reinvest once we hit, you can see this perfect trend line here as well. This is a good trend line, okay? Here you can start reinvesting, but it might also break out and get higher. Who knows? We need to see when the time comes, okay? But at this level, of course, we want to reinvest, right? So from this level, boom, to this level, we reinvest, and it might break out. We'll wait, we reinvest here, it might break out high, reinvest here, and all of a sudden it will dump again, boom. All right? So guys, short term, quick pump possible, as I told you many times, also because of the liquidity, right? I've been telling since weeks now, because of the liquidity we can see in the market, right? On Ethereum, for example, let's check it out. ETH, okay, on the 2-week time frame. Let's check it out, guys. Let's just check it out. 2 weeks time frame, yeah. Because what we can see, guys, is perfectly at $4,500, hundreds of millions, right? Until 4,575, 4,000, yeah, roughly 600. You know, here's a little bit more at 4,650. Okay, hundreds of millions here. And we can also see at $4,200, there's hundreds of like billions of dollars sitting here and more, right? But before we approach these levels, we want to make sure that all these short traders get liquidated, and boom, then the long traders get liquidated as well. Okay, let's go on a higher time frame, 3-month time frame. Okay, let's see what happens. Let's see what, guys, I've been telling since really long time now. Okay, we can see huge liquidity. I mean, I don't want to be the bear. Okay, I don't want to be the maximum bear. I don't want to be too bearish on these charts. All right, but I need to fairly say that it's absolutely possible that we hit the 3K level, right? We see 500 million of longs sitting at this level. Okay, on the way down there will be many more, you know, hundreds of millions here. Now let's get this thing a little bit more yellow so you can see it better. Here around 2.5 thousand, guys, that would be amazing. I mean, I would love to see this level, right? Because we see what will happen. Okay, we see the pattern that's happening here. At 4,700, we can see also a lot of liquidity, right? 450 million only on gate, right? Depends always on the how do you say, the exchange you look at. Okay, you can see that, guys, massive liquidity at these levels. And before the next pump, you know, it might be possible that these, especially the 3K level, might get liquidated, and we want to be part of this downside. We want to short this downside and make money on this downside. Okay, how, you know, billions of dollars are sitting here. It depends on the, depending on the exchange, right? At $2,500, there's also a lot of liquidity. You can see it, $350 million of dollars sitting around here. 370 million of that. I mean, this is a very, you know, this is a hard level. If we hit that, then it's really something bad going on. Okay, something big news this level. But especially this level here, 3,500 to 3,900, very likely to hit that. So next pump, right? You know, I'm not sure if we'll, you know, we'll see how far we can get. Okay, but honestly, I might start opening a short here. Okay, at 4,700, you know, to 4,800 short here. Okay, in case, guys, because when this thing drops, okay, when this thing drops, for example, to $3,000, from 4,800 to 3,000, we can see it. From, let's take a clean chart. No, man, I cannot take that anymore. Okay, 4,300, right? At 4,800 to $3,000, guys. That's a 37%. That's a 37%. On a 10x, that's a 370% that you do on the downside, okay? So for example, you have a 10K portfolio, let's say, right? You just take 1K out of your portfolio and short it with a 10x leverage, right? So your liquidation price would be 10% up, 4,800, or approximately 10% up. Your liquidation price would be at 5,260, okay? That's where your liquidation price would be at, right? And now, with the 1K, you would make here 370%, which means 4.7x, which means 1K into almost 5K, right? You just take 1K, which is 10% of your portfolio, will turn it into approximately, roughly 5K, okay, guys? Let's put the dollar in front. Okay. And your portfolio, right, you had 9K left on your spot bags, for example. They will now turn minus 40% on 9K, minus 50 is 4.5K, minus 40 is maybe roughly, you still have 5K left, I guess. Let me check that. 40%. Yeah, you have you lose 36%, which means no, it's not. You'd lose 3.6k, I believe. On top of my head, I'm not sure, guys. I'm not sure. We can just calculate that actually. Okay. 9 times 0.4. Yeah, exactly, guys. So you'd lose. Damn, I'm the best ever, man. You'd lose 3.6k. Okay. $3,600, right? And you have left 5,000. Damn, that's ugly. Yeah, guys, my I'm still drawing on my MacBook, so it's kind of messy. $5,400 left. So now, with you taking 10% of your portfolio, putting it in a short, on 10x you make 5k on the downside, plus you still have 5k on spot backs, so now you have 10k, but with Ethereum at a way cheaper price, guys. So you have the same amount of money, okay, but at a way lower level. And that's awesome if you can do that. And it's all, of course it's better if you can make more money, and if you have more money when you're down, but holding the money, holding your bags, the amount of your bag is worth at this drop is huge. Okay, that's what you want to do, because right now everybody gets kind of bullish. Okay, everybody gets kind of bullish. Everybody waits for the pump, and once the pump happens, a little bit of retail is back. Shit, man. A little bit of retail is back. Okay, and we see this thing now at 4,800. I will be start shorting. I'll start shorting. I might split up my money in 3 times or 2.5, right? One time I short here at 4.8. Then I'll set my stop loss close to liquidation price, because guys, I don't see much more potential in this rising. At some point it has to come down, and 3k level would be absolutely the, like, this 2.88 level is absolutely the worst case scenario. I really see. I mean, 2,500, I don't believe we'll see that, but the 3k level, yeah, we can definitely see that. Okay, but more likely, of course, is the 3.9 to 3.6. Okay, here around this area. But this is a nice level. I will be definitely watching out for. Okay, at this point I will be loading up, because guys, you can also see, okay, we're still on the weekly, right? We're on the weekly, and you can see here, boom, in March it pumped higher, but it get lower, the RSI, right? Then here in December it pumped higher, RSI was still lower, then boom 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 it pumped. Now it's all-time highs, but the RSI is still lower at comparing to March. Okay, so on the weekly time frame, the daily, guys, it even looks worse, right? It even looks worse, guys. You can see that here at 3,800 in July 25. Boom, RSI massively overbought. Okay, it dumped a little bit, pumped higher, RSI getting weaker. Guys, it gets weaker and weaker by time. Okay, all-time high here, and the RSI got weaker. So I don't believe there's much more potential for this thing to pump, right? I don't necessarily believe we'll hit the 5k level, the 5.2k level, right? This actually, the 4.8 thousand level is a very nice level to short. On a 10x, you don't need to put a 100x, but on a 10x leverage, right? Looking at it, because I think we could slightly pump higher than this high, slightly 4,800, 4,850, maybe around this area would be perfect entry for a short. And when we hit a 10x short, guys, that's awesome, right? Because not only you keep your bag, but also the psychology in your own mind that you managed to have a short, that you managed to see the big dump happening. And I'll be waiting for the dump, guys. I'm seeing it, I'm waiting for it since a long time, also on Solana. I shorted yesterday at exactly this level here. Made some quick profit, right? I shorted here. No, not here. Shorted here. Yeah, on the daily it's a little bit different. I shorted exactly here, right? I shorted here at 218 point something. I sold actually at 216, I believe. You know, then it pumped again and then dumped, right? I mean, I did, you know, maybe 60% profit on 100x leverage. That's why I made 60%, which is all right. You know, profit is profit, but we, you know, missed out on this dump down. But you know, also Solana, man, this thing just pumps, but it gets weaker and weaker. I don't believe there's no real retail interest. There's nothing. So at 250, I'll be shorting Solana, the shit out of Solana. Okay, that's a quick update on the market, guys. Keep your eyes on USDT, USDC dominance. Okay, look at it and wait for the pattern to play out. Take care, stay healthy, and here in the next one. Bye.